Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. 15 years ago today, Chris Daughtry signed his first record deal after placing fourth on American Idol. I spoke with Daughtry during the pandemic about his sensational rise to rock glory.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
I guess we're all stuck home during the pandemic. Is this just your way to give back to everybody?
Yeah, a little out of boredom too. Like, we're all kind of itching to get back out on the road, and I never realized how much of my identity was wrapped up in touring until 2 weeks into quarantine, and I'm like, who am I? This identity crisis. And but it's been great being at home and spending time with the kids and my wife, and it's been great for that. We do have a sound stage set up in Nashville that we're renting out. We want to keep it loose. We want to want the fans to feel engaged. It's certainly weird for us because we can't see them. It's not like a Zoom call. But we thought it would be awesome if we were able to pair up with venues, because we know how important they are to the community, and we also know how important they are to the music industry. We played a lot of these clubs. I'm not sure if we ever played the Birchmere, but it's such a legendary club, and it just seemed really cool to be a part of that legend. And we want to see these businesses hopefully stay in business and keep going.
Now, remind our listeners where you were in life and in your music when you went on American Idol. That was season 5, memories from the show, and sort of where you were in life and how that just changed everything.
Well, I was working at a car dealership. I was, doing the daily grind, playing clubs on weekends sometimes to try to get my name out there. That was hard because I wasn't much of a cover band. So where I lived at the time, there was a lot of, market for cover bands where they wanted bands to come in and play 3 hours, but they didn't want any original music. So it was always kind of tough to get a gig, surprisingly. And so I didn't have a steady gig. It was always kind of like 1 or 2 a month. But going on that show certainly turned the pages on that one.
Why do you think it almost seems like the runner-ups almost do bigger than the winners sometimes? You had Jennifer Hudson, Adam Lambert, yourself. I mean, what is it? Is it just the national stage for the existing talent you already had?
I kind of like to look at it that way because I know nothing was given to me. It didn't fall in my lap, and I had to work my ass off. And even after the show, it was a lot of work. I was, on days off, I was writing for a record, and I didn't have days off, and everybody else was, hanging out and partying on the Idol tour. I'm in the hotel room writing and recording.
Good for you.
I believe you get in this world what you put out, and I always try to do my part.
Awesome. Now, that self-titled debut you referenced, you were working on an album, Daughtry, went to #1 in 2006. It was huge. You had what? It's Not Over, Home, Over You. What About Now? Yeah. I mean, a whole generation can sing those songs, man. So it's awesome. Did you have all those, or at least some of those, in your your back pocket when it came time, or were those all written after the Idol success?
I had 3 of the songs on that record already written. Home was one of them. I wrote that before I even went on Idol. And then a song called Breakdown and Gone. I had those kind of roughed out, in the years prior to Idol, but I did a lot of the work afterwards. Yeah.
Cool, man. I think it won American Music Award and earned 4 Grammy nominations.
Four American Music Awards and 4 Grammy nominations, but still yet to win a Grammy. Working on it.
The key word is yet. It's going to happen eventually.
Yes. I believe it.
How important was that second album? Because I think Leave This Town debuted at #1 as well. No Surprise was the big single, we all know.
Yeah.
But how important was it for you to show that it wasn't like, okay, I had this one album right off of Idol, but you had a lot left in the tank?
There was a lot of pressure because there was no pressure on that first record. I came in 4th. Nobody cared. You know what I mean? It was, as far as like the label was concerned, it was like a safe bet for them. And I'd maybe sell a few 100,000 records, and it's no lost investment on their part. And then it did really well. And so the next record, everyone was like, kind of looking over my shoulder, like, well, I don't know if this song is right, and there was a lot of second guessing, a lot of pressure, but I kind of dug my heels in a little bit there towards the end because they didn't think we had the record, and I was like, I think I'm done writing. I'm kind I'm kind of burnt out here. We've been on tour for almost 2 years, and I think people are ready to hear something new. So, but yeah, it's one of those things that I felt the pressure for sure.
Well, you stepped up and delivered it. How have you think you've evolved over the next several ones? You know, your third was Break the Spell, fourth was Baptize, and then Cage to Rattle, I think, was your fifth. But how do you think you've changed or evolved or fine-tuned or even gotten better over you know, the course of those?
Well, I think I just have more life to write about now. And so I think the subject matter is a little more mature. And I think as a songwriter, I feel like looking back, I was still really green during that first record. And I feel like I've learned so much working with other writers and producers over the years. I think it just, and being on tour for, you know, ever has certainly, I think, made me a better performer, a better singer. We're working on a new album now, which we're really, really excited about. I can't really say anything other than that. We were kind of deep into making it when, you know, everything got shut down. So we do have the first few songs lined up, I think, coming soon. But as far as the record, that probably won't be done until next year.
Okay. Well, bringing it sort of full circle, I think most recently we all saw you unmasked on The Masked Singer.
Yeah.
The Rottweiler singing Sia. Talk about how it sort of brought you full circle back onto a competition show and the pressure of being able to see who it was.
Yeah, it was extremely different from Idol in the sense that I was under this veil of anonymity the entire time. We didn't even know the other contestants. I didn't realize I was in the same competition with Seal and Patti LaBelle. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm so glad I didn't, because it would have totally ruined my whole psyche. And so you're really essentially in competition with yourself, and you're finding it very hard to breathe in this very heavy, hot costume. And then you add choreography to it. And it was the most challenging thing I've ever done on stage, but at the same time, the most liberating.
I think you might have just flubbed into an album title, Veil of Anonymity. That's pretty
There you go.
Awesome, man. Well, you've been generous with your time. We'll let you run.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. We're excited to bring some joy to the fans, and we can't wait for you to join us, and we can't wait to get some new music to you guys very soon, very soon.
All right, everybody. Chris Daughtry on WTOP. Thanks, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you. Stay safe.
You too.
Thanks so much for joining us on Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Remember to hit the subscribe button and give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time. I wanted to take a second to tell you about an app I really enjoy. Living in the DC area is great, and Podcast DC gathers all of the local shows that I like all in one local app. Health, sports, local news, politics, and so much more. Podcast DC is the new local app with hundreds of DC area podcasts to choose from. I can earn exciting rewards just for listening and share the podcasts I love instantly. Available in the App Store or in Google Play, listen local with Podcast DC.